everybody. I'm Heather Sky. I'm teaching yoga for alignment at 21st Yoga in Salt Lake City, Utah. And in my public classes over the past couple of months, we've been working on balance and transitions. And we'll continue playing with some of that today. So if you do have props available, a blanket and 2 blocks would be handy. If you don't have blocks, you can use books. I would recommend hardcover books. They'll be a little steadier, slide around a little less. But when you are ready, I always start my classes in a seated position for a little tune-in. So for me, at the heart of it, the yoga practice is about accepting what is. So every day, sometimes several times a day, I take some time to just tune into what that means in my body and my mind today in this moment. So start by just kind of shifting, moving around, figuring out what sort of seat is most comfortable for you today, and then take your time to close the eyes, settle into your space. In preparation for our practice, once you do find a place to land, take a slow and steady inhale through the nose and a heavy exhale out of the mouth, allowing that to soften the outermost layer of the body, letting go of some of the effort you've created to hold yourself here. And then we'll start with a little body scan. So whether you work from top to bottom or bottom to top, I want you to pay attention to the places in the physical body where you're holding stress and tension right now. And whenever you come across those places, whether it's quite a bit of tension or a little tension, take pause and allow yourself a moment to soften and let go of the tension as you're able. Take a couple moments to do that. Once you do work through this initial body scan, take a moment to dig a little deeper and notice how that softening affected the energetic body. You might notice your energy is quite high, anxious, chaotic, or you might notice your energy is quite low, tired, lethargic. And day to day, moment to moment, it might fluctuate anywhere in between. So notice how you're feeling here and now. And finally, we'll focus our awareness on the mind. As you begin to sit with the thoughts, feelings, and various narratives that might arise in the back of the mind, first just notice them. And then without trying to ignore, manipulate, or attach to any of those thoughts and narratives that are coming up. As each one arises, again, take pause, mentally noting there is this particular thought, feeling, narrative arising for me. Accept it, knowing it's a part of who you are, and then let it go. And work through that process until your mind becomes a little more calm and clear. Once you find that you feel a little more steady, gather your hands together at heart center and use whatever information remains to set a meaningful intention to carry you throughout your practice and throughout the remainder of your day. Then hold your intention between your hands, close to your heart as you sit up nice and tall. And if you'd like to join in, we'll start our practice with one devotional Om. Take a slow inhale to prepare. Let the echo of that vibration roll through you. And with a heavy exhale, release the hands back down. And as you continue to sit nice and tall, take a moment to drop the chin toward the chest, relaxing the shoulders so the weight of the head gives you a nice sensation through the back of the neck, potentially through the shoulders and the upper back. And take a couple slow and steady breaths here. Then bit by bit, start to bring the right ear toward the right shoulder. And each time you come across a place of tension on the left side of your neck, you'll again pause there. Try to soften the tension. And then continue your directional movement to the right. Once the right ear is over the shoulder, and you can take as much time as you need here, keep the weight of the head dropping to the right, but start to turn your gaze, nose, and chin slowly up to the left. Once you find that edge, and then you'll slowly drop the chin back toward the chest, taking a couple of breaths where we started. Taking that to the other side, start to slowly work the left ear toward the left shoulder. And again, each time you feel a line of tension on the right side of the neck, pause and notice if there's anything you can do to alleviate some of that tension. Slowly working the left ear over the shoulder and then turning the gaze, nose, and chin up to the right from there. Once you hit that end point, you might try to rotate just a little further until all sides of the neck are very active. And then drop the chin back toward the chest, maybe gently rolling the head from right to left again. When you're ready, rolling the head up as you come back to center, maybe working the shoulders through some of that. And then we're going to take a few breaths as a collective. I like to do this from a flat seat. If you are propped up on something, you can stay there or shift to a more comfortable position. But we want to be evenly grounded on both sides of our seat and start by reaching the hands out to the side. On an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, bringing the pinky side hands toward one another. They don't have to touch. And on your exhale, turn the palms out and actively stretch out toward the side walls. And you'll just continue that at your own pace. Inhaling to fully reach and lengthen. Exhaling to stretch out as you work toward empty. You might try to lengthen and deepen the breath with each cycle, but only so far as it feels appropriate at this point. No need to force it. We'll inhale, arms up overhead one more time. No rush to catch up. And from here, really reach up and hug the core in to support the length of the spine. And then rotate the whole torso to the right and split your arms out for a twist, letting them land wherever they naturally fall. Then inhale to lengthen again, hugging the core toward midline. And exhale to ring out into a twist. At this point, you can close the eyes again and tune in. What happened to the structure of the spine, the shoulders, the head, the neck? Maybe make some little adjustments to get a little more upright, activating the places you need to hold and softening the places you don't. Take a couple more full deep breaths here, trying to send the breath all the way up the right side body. On your next inhale, come back to center. Notice the subtle shift of the spine. Push your seat down, reach up, hug in, and then rotate to the left, slip the arm out. Inhale to lengthen, hug in, exhale, twist. And this is your time to pay attention. What muscles started to grip and hold you in place that weren't necessary? What are your tendencies to take on tension here? Can you maintain alignment, but find that place between the effort and the ease? And then continue to breathe all the way up the left side body. center. And then slowly start to fold forward with a long spine. And once you meet that resistance in the hips where your seat wants to start lifting up, let the hands come down, bend the elbows, and bow your head, taking a few soft and heavy breaths. When you feel ready to, you can just draw the fingertips inward. And eventually we're gonna make our way to table. If you're ready, go right there. If you wanna kind of open up the legs, move and stretch around a little bit, you can do that. Taking your time to get there when you're ready. And from our tabletop position, you can start to move intuitively. Lots of things you can do here. I like to work through cat-cow, inhaling to extend the spine as I gently pull palms and knees together. Exhaling to flex the spine as I gently push palms and knees apart. You might work through a few rounds of that as you feel your way through the sensations in the upper body. Also an option to shift hips from right to left, leaning a little of your weight into the outer hip and glute area. You can also draw circles or figure eights with the navel to get a little more dynamic with your movements, whether those are big or small. Feel free to move with your own body's natural wisdom, whatever that's telling you today. But eventually, we will let these movements take us into our downward dog. So when you're ready, we'll meet there, and you can start to focus your awareness on the sensations in the lower body, pedaling out the legs, maybe rolling out the ankles, feeling your way through glutes, hamstrings, knees, calves, even the feet, ankles, and toes. And then we're going to warm up with our sun salutations here. This first one is just to get us starting to move a little more actively. So on an inhale, come up onto the toes. Exhale, deep bend in the knees. Step, hop, or float your way forward. And with a generous bend in the knees, fold. Uttanasana. Then inhale to slide the hands up the shins or thighs until you can lengthen out to a long neutral spine. And exhale to fold back down. Heavy exhale. From the press of your feet, inhale to rise all the way up. Reach up. And this first round, we'll exhale through center. Taking a moment to close your eyes and pause. Reconnecting with the ground beneath you. Reconnecting with the intention you set for this practice. When you're ready, gently blinking the eyes open. And with an inhale, reaching arms up overhead. From the hips, exhale to fold. Inhale, slide hands up and lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands. These breath cues are just directives. You can follow at your own pace, but try to find a strong and steady plank position, and on an exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale to the back end of your choice, cobra, up dog, sphinx, and exhale back to downward dog. In your downward dog, take a few full deep breaths to reconnect. Maybe moving, shifting around, feeling some of those underlying sensations that are becoming a little more prominent in your body. And this next one, I'm going to work you through with a little more purpose because I am an alignment teacher and I love curiosity. I love being very methodical in my movements. So, when you're ready, inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, deep bend in the knees, move your gaze forward. And as you come forward, the power is going to come into the hands as you push your mat away. Then again, with a generous bend in the knees, fold. And really press all four sides of the feet down until the legs get really active. And then lift your sit bones until you get more of a tension line through the back of the leg. Keep that. Inhale to slide the hands up, lengthen. This is a place where we tend to either arch or round. So as you continue to lift the sit bones, try to put a little pressure into the legs to lengthen the spine and create more space around the neck and shoulders. Then bring your hands to your hips and keep pushing through the feet to come up using the power of the legs. Inhale, arms up. Notice the tendency to arch here. Hug the core in. And from the hips, hinge to fold. Find your active feet. Lift the sit bones to find the tension in the back of the leg. Inhale, slide hands up. Little pressure to try to lengthen out more. Exhale, plant the hands. Make your way to plank. To get a little stronger in your plank, try to push your hands down so much, ribs and belly pull up to activate the core. But then we have to get longer, so push your heels and your tail back. And as you lower, your chest is going to come forward. Keep the core strong. Then untuck the toes, really grounding the toenails. That's going to give you some of the power for your back bend. Pull the ribs and belly away from the floor and then lengthen. Pulling hands back, dragging spine forward, and finally pressing to get shoulders, head, and throat back. Exhale, lower. Tuck the toes. Downward dog. Take a few steady breaths here. I'm going to work through that one more time on your own. If you forget some of the movements, it doesn't matter. If you want to take something out or add something in, go for it. But this is your moment to get curious and play with some of the differences you might have felt in your body. Go for it. Once you do complete your sun salutation, you have an option to rest in downward dog, child's pose. You can take a seat, have a drink, reconnect with the breath. We'll get back on in a minute here. If you do have blocks, they're going to go near the top of your mat. I am not sick. I actually have a throat issue. All right, but when you're ready from your downward dog, I'll start on my right side. Inhale to extend the right leg behind you. And then see if you can really press the knuckles down and energetically push the hands forward as you reach the right foot up and back. Then on an exhale, step the right foot forward. And you're going to lift the toes on the right foot and notice where the weight goes. See if you can press out evenly through all four sides of the foot and push the toes down with so much force your entire right leg activates. This right leg's gonna keep doing the same work, but now we're gonna drop the left knee to a hover. We're gonna hug it forward until the muscles around the pelvis get a little more active. And then you're gonna slowly straighten the back leg. And once you have a micro bend, push the heel down to get more length from the calves and hamstrings. Then you're gonna reach the arms up and overhead like you're in a long angular lunge. Shift a little weight forward and push down to get a little float. Maybe pressing all the way into warrior three. Keep the right leg strong, bend the knee forward, step back, hands down. This is where you could be using blocks. Drop the left knee, hug it forward, slowly straighten. Before you lock out, heel presses down to give you that muscular length. Reach the arms up and forward, little weight shift forward, push, play with that balance. We're gonna do that one more time. Step back, drop the left knee, hug it forward, slowly straighten, heel gives you that extra length. Reach the arms up. First the weight shift, then the balance. This time you're going to keep arms forward as you step back into your lunge and use the press of the feet to open up into a twist. Nice. One little tip that's helpful here is to keep pushing the right knee forward and the left heel back as you reach out. And then spiral the right arm forward, step back to plank, and complete Vinyasa. Take a full deep breath in your downward dog, and then we'll take it to the other side. Inhale to extend the left leg behind you. Press your knuckles down and forward as you reach the left foot up and back. Exhale, step forward. Option to place your blocks here. First, lift the left toes, Notice the tendency of your balance to shift, even weight and pressure. Toes push down to activate the entirety of the leg. Keep pushing. Right knee drops to a hover. Hugs forward to activate the pelvic girdle. Slow straightening. Before you lock out, push the heel down, get more length. Little weight shift forward, push. Keep the left knee strong, bend it forward as you slowly step back, hands down. Drop the right knee. Hug it forward. Slowly straighten. Heel gives you the extra length. Reach the arms up. Weight shift forward. Push. Balance. Last time. Work through all of that on your own. This time after the warrior three, keep the arms up as you step back for lunge, and you'll open up to the left for the twist. Push left knee forward, right heel back for depth, but you're also pushing down. Then spiral forward. Blocks aside if you have them. Optional vinyasa. This time at the end of your vinyasa, you can rest in child's pose, a seated meditation, take a drink. If you have more energy to burn at this point, you can work through another vinyasa or sun salutation, but we'll come back to meet in downward dog. From your downward dog, inhale to re-extend the right leg behind you. Find that extra length. Push the knuckles down and forward, reach the right foot up, and then bring right heel to mid-glute and start to work the right leg in circles, each direction. And we really want to keep our container here. So try not to move and shift around if you can help it. Really keep that strong press. And eventually, you'll work the right foot forward. We're going to build on our last sequence. So lift the toes, notice the weight shift, press out evenly, push the toes down to activate the leg. This time, you're going to reach all the way up and forward, and you're going to split open to your right. Think about that action of isometrically pushing the right foot forward, left foot back as you lengthen out. And then right arm is going to sweep down, both arms up, lunge. Push your feet down to get a little more length through the spine. Strong core. Weight shift forward, press down. Bring the left knee up, standing staff. Okay. From here, keep pushing to maintain your length, but see how far you can straighten the left leg before something gets a little weird and wonky. Keep pushing, lengthening, and see how much you can straighten and lift. Then, into the thigh to get longer through the back body. And maybe you open up the arms into another position. And then use the press of the right foot to come back up. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. And again, sit back, bringing the hands to the front of the right thigh. So first, we're going to start sitting nice and deep with the chest forward. And notice the sensation you're experiencing here. This is one of those positions where you kind of get out what you put into it. So push the left outer ankle into the right thigh a little more and try to broaden the left side of your seat away from the right side. And you can either stay here, you can sit a little deeper, or you can try to fold. Take a few breaths. Nice. Then step by step, you're gonna unwind. Try to keep your balance. Keep the standing leg strong. We're gonna step back to our lunge. Push the feet down to get longer and stronger through the torso. Plant the hands. Vinyasa. All right, we're going to take that same sequence to the other side. So when you're ready, inhale to extend the left leg. Find that action of pushing down and forward as you lift, and then bring left heel toward mid-glute. Keep your press, keep your container, and work the left leg in circles, each direction a few times. When you feel about even on this side, step the left foot forward. You're going to start with that foot. Lift the toes. Notice your natural balance. Try to shift out a little more evenly and push the toes down. You might notice that totally different muscles start to activate. And then slowly reach up. Open into your twist to the left. Find that action of pushing left leg forward, right leg back as you turn the chest open, reach up, and then sweep the left arm up. Get your push, a little more length. Keep that length for the balance. Weight shift forward, press down, right knee comes up. Once you find your balance, find your press to get longer. Play with the straightening of the right leg. Notice how we try to get a little further. And then sweep the right leg back. Warrior 3. Hands to front of thigh help manage that weight shift and balance. So first, find the balance on the left leg. Press into the thigh, try to get longer. Maybe even turn the right outer hip down just a bit. And then slowly come back up. Cross right ankle over left thigh or knee. Hands to front of thigh. Sit back deep to start. Maybe a little adjustment of the foot. Notice where the sensation is. Notice if your balance shifted in the foot. Sometimes the weight goes to the outer foot and it goes to the outer hip too. Try to pull all that in, and then as you press the ankle down, broaden fold, but try to stay connected to the sensation. When you feel ready, you'll slowly unwind, trying to maintain your awareness in the transitions. Step back, lunge, press down, lengthen, release the hands, Vinyasa. Once you complete this Vinyasa, you'll again come to a resting pose of your choice. Child's pose, meditation, something else that might work better for you. When I am working on balance and a lot of glute strength in my child's pose, I like to kind of shift this around, a little release and movement there. And then when you're ready, come back to downward dog for one more brief sequence on each side. Inhale to extend the right leg behind you. Find your press. Try to get longer and stronger. Then bring right heel to glute and see if you can keep your container but turn just the right leg out, keeping a strong press through the left hand to counter any tendencies to collapse. And then turn the right knee down, step forward. Start by lifting the toes, find your even balance, press the toes down, activate that right leg. Start to reach up and forward. Open into your twist. Push right leg forward, left leg back. Try to turn the heart a little more open. And then sweep the right arm forward, and you're gonna step forward, chair. And here again, we're gonna start by sitting deep, chest low, and see if you can really get the legs strong here, and then slide your sit bones toward the knees to sit up. Settle in, take a couple breaths. Shift a little more weight to the right foot, float the left foot, and step back. Open up, twist. Then we're going to take it a little further. Keep pushing right foot forward, left foot back, and hinge, coming into a little additional twist, reverse lunge. And then spiral forward, slow and steady. Step back to plank, Vinyasa. Take a nice deep, steady breath. Last standing sequence, left side. Inhale, extend the left leg behind you. Find your pressing action. Bring left heel to mid glute and try to keep your container as you turn that left leg out. Strong press through the right hand. Armpit is lifted, shoulder is strong. And then lower the knee, step forward. Find the foot, lift the toes, strong and even balance. Press to activate, and then reach forward, up. Left arm comes back, twist, push, open. Then sweep the left arm forward, shift a little weight forward, deep and low chair. Press your feet down, maybe energetically outward to get the sit bones broad, legs strong, and then slide the sit bones forward, sit up, maybe deepen in, hold. Shift a little weight to the left foot, step back, open up, twist, drop back, reverse. Keep pushing forward and back, and then push down to pull the core in, reach up. Slow spiral forward, step back, Vinyasa. Again, here you'll come to a resting pose of your choice. Take a moment to reconnect with the breath, reconnect with who you are in this practice, in this moment. And then for just 1 minute here, I want you to do something that makes you feel excited. So whether that's a deep stretch, some sort of flexibility, whether it's a pose you're working on, an arm balance, an inversion, try to be playful, don't take it too serious, but just get curious about what that looks like in your body day to day. Give it a try. Still playing around, feel free to wrap it up. We are going to meet in a seated position. So when I'm working this kind of balance and lower body strength stuff, I have some kind of go-tos I like to work through at the end of my practice. So start by just leaning back on the hands and actively shake out your knees. This will give your hamstrings and calves a nice little gentle massage. Then you're going to actively point and flex your feet several times. You can get the toes involved. You can think about spreading the tops and bottoms of the feet. And then putting a little more space between the legs, we're going to play with rotating the legs externally and internally, but keeping the eye of the hip, the knee, and the front of the ankle in line. So as you do this, usually either the lower leg or upper leg will have the capacity to rotate more the knee. So try not to rotate further than all of those joints are moving in unison. And once you figure out what that looks like, add ankle circles. And again, you can spread the toes, get the feet really active here. And then my two favorites. First, we're going to do a foot stomp. Which really helps release the whole leg. And then we're going to do that glute and outer hip stuff we've been working. So roll over onto your forearm. You're going to pull the knees into the chest and hug them in tight. And then you're going to roll your glutes and outer hip area like you're your own little foam roller here. And those movements can be small, big. You can continue movement. You can find little places to pause, hold, work with. And when you're ready, just switch it over to the other side, being mindful of the tail. That can be a little tender. When you're about even there, come on to the back. You've got a couple more minutes of practice here. So we're gonna start. Hopefully you can see me. I can't see myself very well. But we're gonna start with feet planted on the wide edges of the mat, and let your toes turn out however they naturally do, but try to keep the back body grounded. So either side of the sacrum, either side of the shoulders. You can open arms out to a T or place them wherever you're comfortable. And then you're gonna drop the knees to the right, only so far as the torso stays grounded. And then see if you can reach the left knee toward the wall in front of you until you get more stretch along your left side, and the right knee might even fall a little deeper. Take a breath there. Come back to center, re-ground the back body, and drop the knees to the left. Once you find that place, see if you can reach the right knee out a little more. Get a little more out of it, like you're pushing the right knee forward. And then play with that a couple more times on your own. They can be fast or slow, active, passive, curious, explorative. And then come back to center and take a full body stretch. Reaching the arms up overhead, reaching out through the toes, maybe adding a little movement until you feel ready to set up for Shavasana, your final resting pose. And in our Shavasana, we want to put just as much effort into how we initially set that up. The whole point of this final moments is to rest and recover. So if you find that you don't feel easeful in the traditional corpse position today, give yourself permission to set up in some other way. So you can work through each layer of the body, allowing yourself to let go of your effort, let go of your tension, get a little softer, a little heavier, and take these moments to just be, accepting yourself and this moment fully. Take a moment to just be in your body, feeling everything a little deeper. As your awareness starts to re-expand, allow your breath and your energy to expand out with it into even the furthest reaches of the body. Eventually, you might run your thumb over your fingertips to bring back physical connection. And allow your movements to intuitively evolve from there. Moving the fingers and toes. Maybe coming back to a full body stretch or some other form of movement. But working on your own time, in your own way, until eventually you come back to a comfortable seated position where we'll meet once again with eyes closed, hands together at heart center. As we reconnect in this place, take a moment to sit with your thoughts and use them to reconnect with your intention perspective. Then keeping your eyes closed, inhale arms up overhead, taking one final cleansing breath. And exhale, hands back to heart center, sealing our collective practice. I see you. I bow to you. And I wish you well in all things, at all times. Namaste.